All right, man. Excuse my little one in the background. I'm just gonna do this video because I ain't gonna wait all day. It's Children's Day here in Brazil. It's about my son. You know what I'm saying? Like about my son, about the kids. Big King Speech bro love the kids, and he damn sure love his junior. Um, but yeah, man, I've been doing some reflection on the Thursday show and how I went down. Yeah, so roll out the kids, and but anyway, I've been doing some reflecting on the Thursday show, and it went how it went. I thought it went well. It could have went better. Obviously we had some emotional, and this is the thing, right? This honestly, what happens, whether I have the control of the panel or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? It was displayed out there, right? It's displayed out there. So I'm titling this video, my issue with LeBron James at the end of the day. And see, it's funny because even the people that I argue with on my show about LeBron James, when I'm not having him in my top five, and the reasons why I don't have him in my top five, and it's like, yeah, there's reasons, right? There's things that I look at, there's things that I can observe with LeBron, and people will say, well, the fact that you don't have him there, given his accomplishment, is hate. And the thing, and it's not the case, because no matter what, I'm going to judge people, and I judge everybody, regardless of how I feel about them or what I think of them, accordingly. There are people who, again, I rock with it, don't even consider LeBron James a top 10, based on their standards and what they think of NBA basketball and NBA basketball players. So when I get down to my thoughts, and when I get down on how I feel and what I think about LeBron James and my issue with LeBron James himself, it will come out to explain why I think he is where he is and why he has not reached the success level and that meet my standards of what a top 5 player is. You see, what happens is now, again, if anyone noticed, of my top 5 players, the latest who started his career is Michael Jordan. That means no one in my top 5 has played an NBA basketball game this side of 2003. That's 21 years ago. That's the first Bush term. We're in the second era of Trump. The first guy started his career when Dwight Eisenhower, or the first guy chronologically, which is Bill Russell, started his career when Dwight Eisenhower was president. Okay, I'm just doing the presidential term right now as a way of marking time, because I'm a weird kid that knew the presidents from the time I was 5-6 years old, because I used to study encyclopedias. This is for I'm an old head, right? But this is before, when we had encyclopedias and not Google to get information. When I got my information, I got it out of an almanac. I didn't Google. I couldn't just pull up shit from a computer. I had to go in books and almanacs and historical references and borrow books from the library to get data on NBA history. Okay, just that's just a note, programming note. At the end of the day, when it comes down to it, my top 5, I respect the old school, and what happens is people have recency bias. Me, I try to look at things from a historical perspective, and my standard is I take what you did relative to your era, and I don't play in the 60s only had 9 teams game, the 60s only had so and so many black players, the 60s only had this, or the 80s. I don't play that era, because again, it was one thing that, it's funny, one guy that I go at, Lamont Lane, aka FYF Sports, is one thing that we fundamentally agree on. I don't disqualify or make biases towards era like I don't do for LeBron James in this era. I don't sit there and say that this era or this, and I don't even sit there and use the rule changes to discount his scoring. His scoring total. Like, you can take 3 steps because you have a gather step. You can take 3 steps. There was no such thing as a gather step in the 80s when you're running down a fast break, where you can take one step to gather the rock, 2 more steps, and then jump to finish your layup. You had 2. Your last dribble, you had 2 steps, then you had to take off. Okay? So that's an advantage that LeBron gets. I still don't discount any of that to his stats. I don't, when people say 42,000 points, it's not, Pete Rose ain't the greatest hitter of all time because he had 40. See, I watch other sports. Some of you guys should understand this. I'm a sports fan, not just a basketball fan. Pistol Pete Maravich, not the greatest college player of all time. Caitlin Clark, not the greatest women's college player of all time. So if it's just about stats, guess what? Then Will Chamberlain is the undisputed GOAT. Because, rebounding is my favorite part of the game. Will Chamberlain was an undoubtedly dominant scorer. So and then the fact that things like blocks and steals. Oh, I got it. Okay, go ahead, sis. And then things like blocks and steals weren't even recorded. And so many things were brought up, and again, it's like, bro, if y'all don't understand, no, and if y'all don't understand that I take things from a historical perspective, and I've done my research for years. A couple of cats on the panel probably since before some of them were even born. Let's know when they even knew about a basketball. No matter what you decide, about my or think about my basketball perspective, it's been based on shit when you were shitting diapers, man. So, again, it is what it is. Being what it is, I'm gonna take things about, so again, my perspective is my perspective. There's things that I have as standards. I like consistent winners. I like guys who dominated an era. Watch out for these rocks. I like guys who dominated their era. LeBron James has been one of the best players of his era. Arguably the best player. Kobe, Bird, arguably the best player of the era. Guess what? The other guys, they all dominated an era. Undisputed. MJ was the undisputed GOAT of his era. And he was the undisputed GOAT for a hell of a long time. And he's my GOAT. There's reasons why. I reluctantly gave him the GOAT status. Because at the time, and as a teenager, when he won his 6 championships, Magic was my GOAT. I'm going to say this again. Jordan won his 6th title when I was 19. That was one thing that I had over Jordan, one thing that Magic had that I had over Jordan. And yes, I'm one to say Magic got into 9 finals. But Magic getting to 9 finals was bigger than Jordan getting to 5. So again, if you're gonna question my GOAT, then again question my standard. Question my standard, right? See, as one, George, Magic's success rate was something I always had over Jordan until Jordan won that 6 championships. And the way he did it, see, things that people get into, and I'm gonna get into the crux of my issue with LeBron. I'm gonna get into the crux of my issue with LeBron. Because what happens is, right, and this GOAT thing is a narrative. When people say, Ro, you speak too many narratives, the GOAT conversation is literally a narrative-based conversation. It literally, you have to take things into account because that it wasn't like everybody in the GOAT list played at the same time where they can settle it on the court. There's things you could not settle on the court. of basketball. You can't expect Wilt Chamberlain played against Russell many years. Magic played against Michael that 1 year, right? Magic played against Bird. Kobe never got to play against LeBron, but he played in regular season, but not in the playoffs. I'm talking about people that played in the playoffs, in the most important games, in a 7-game, 3-game, or 5-game series. You know, those guys got to settle it out on the court. So you have to use narratives. Narratives has to be part of the story. Narrative has to be part of the story. Yeah. Oh, those are the guys that was at his school. Those are the performers that were at the school. So you can't say you just speaking too many narratives. The number being absolute. Again, it's funny. The same people that tell me I have to disqualify Wilt and Bill's numbers are the same people that will tell me that all of a sudden LeBron's numbers are in play. Again, I look at a lot more things than numbers. I look at a lot more things than winning. There is no one standard. There's a composite of standards. I think even a guy like FYF, who I know is a pretty smart basketball mind, who comes and criticizes me on my GOAT standard, right? And again, there's one thing we fundamentally agree. We don't argue with people on their GOAT list. But people argue with me and call me this. And I did the whole 4-hour stream. And I got called everything but a child of God based on my ranking, which is quite nonsense. But again, I laugh it off. Like, it doesn't hurt my feelings. I think you guys need to understand I'm from New York City. Now I know. Oh, you know, bruh. The cursing out, we grew up on the shit, bruh. We don't cry. We don't cry because people call us our names. Like, we give it back. We don't whine. We don't whine about it. We just go back at you. And that's the thing. Some of you cats, you feel the way you feel. Somebody feels differently. You take it personal. It's kind of, again, I'm gonna get into the LeBron thing, right? Because again, I think his fans wind up taking his mantra. See, right now, LeBron, is sitting on the high. He's sitting on the high. And the reason why he's sitting on the high is because, in his mind, what he's doing, and I can admit to that. What he's doing, regardless of how I feel about his deservingness, right? Being a 40-year-old who's an all-NBA player, regardless of how I feel of whether he's deserving of that or not, is unprecedented. Being a 40-year-old who is being considered a top 10 player is unprecedented. I can admit that, right? It's an unprecedented thing. Now, here's the thing. If you are still, and that's the part of my standard, if you are still at that level, then there's a certain amount of responsibility that we ask of you to contribute to your team and success. Because I think very high on my list is team success. Right after how good you were as a player and how long you are. Now see, I'm gonna tell you something. I don't believe that 40-year-old LeBron is better than 40-year-old Kareem. And I'm gonna say that again. I don't think 40-year-old LeBron is better than 40-year-old Kareem. And based on the evidence, I also don't think 40-year-old LeBron was better than 40-year-old Jordan. Based on the evidence. Because guess what? As good as the stats that he's putting up, where's the team success? You're playing with a 25-year-old who is now 26. Because the last time y'all played a game, he was 26. He was born in February 28th, the day before my birthday, right? So, yeah, he was 26. But you're playing with a 26-year-old dominant player in his prime. And Luka, let's not get it twisted, Luka is dominant. He is the second all-time leading scorer in the playoff history in points per game. He is the third all-time leading scorer in regular season history in terms of points per game. Okay? So you're playing with a dominant player like that, and a somewhat adequate supporting cast, and a coach, no matter what you guys say, that he handpicked, and y'all got knocked out in the 50 wins, and no, that's not. And guess what? Jordan wasn't playing. When I compared to Jordan, Jordan wasn't playing with that. Look at all the expansion they're gonna do. So yeah, comparative in the Kareem situation, and see, first of all, the first basis would be saying that, and I don't care what nobody said. Those guys were two-way players. Those guys at 40 did not cheat the game, and they played at a high level. Now you're gonna look at Kareem's stats and say, no, he wasn't a high level. Kareem at that point was slowed down, right? He wasn't putting up the dominant Kareem numbers, yet he was still one of the best starting centers in the league and one of the most important pieces. And he was an important piece to a back-to-back championship team. While Jordan was on a bad Wizards team, a lottery-bound Wizards team, who only picked him up and still got to a 35 to 40 win level. They improved 18 games while he was playing both sides of the ball, despite not really being in shape, despite getting a meniscus tear injury. When they were playing at a contenders level before they eventually went back on the swoon because their star player, Michael Jordan at 39 years old, was injured. That happened. Kareem had taken a reduced role to to help the Lakers win back-to-back champions. Become the first back-to-back championships since Bill Russell in the Lyndon Baines Johnson era. Okay? The Lyndon Baines Johnson era of presidencies. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, this is what you have. And LeBron, with all this credit, you want me to then say, well, he's second team All NBA because he got these numbers, 24, 8, and 8, yet can't get out the first round, can't get to game 6 of a first round series? What is my standards, guys? You have to push the thing over. That's how I judge it. I judge on where you are as a player and where you are relative to your team's success. And I will sit there and say, I will judge it, yeah, I know, baby. And I will judge it based on what you're doing, what you are relative to your team's success. That team is an underachiever. Why do I care that LeBron is putting up ABC stats and his team underachieves? And let's get into the crux of the issue. Then it becomes, what's wrong with my teammates? What's wrong with the coach that I handpicked? He handpicks the teammates. Okay, the Luka trade, that was a thing done without him. I can agree with that. That was done without him. But he handpicks the coach. He handpicks most of the rest of the team. And then you get Luka Doncic, a great creator. Okay? He's not a great individual defender. Okay? You had to get beat by 5. You had to be beaten 5. You had to get ran off the court. You had to have offense that disappeared in the fourth quarters of a playoff series. And at this point, how truly great are you? How truly are you still great whatsoever? Are you still great? No. You're good. You're doing what you're doing. Again, remember what I said. What he's doing is unprecedented. Unprecedented. I can admit that. But what does it mean if it's no success? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was pacing himself at 40 years old. And still a vital, integral part of success to a team that won back-to-back championships. Oh, I know, it's team thing. It's team. Yes, contributing to a team is what you're supposed to be doing on the basketball court. I don't care about your numbers. It's not a game of one-on-one. You got it. It's not a one-on-one game. It's a 5-on-5 game. I've said this, if LeBron would scale back on his minutes and his points and allow other players to develop and do the things that his teams don't, then he would be more successful. That's what it's about. But no, with LeBron right now, it's about counting stats. Well, again, Kareem, MJ, they were contributing to their counting success, their counting stats. But they also contributed to their team's success. And that's the issue. The issue with LeBron is that now, at this point in his life, in his career, he feels the need to get adulation and draw attention for stupid ads like the Decision Part 2 and the Forever King. That's what he needs to do. But where's his team's success? His team right now are looking bad. And again, you know, they're saying that LeBron being out will help Luka get a chance at getting the MVP this year, right? Him being out for the beginning of the season or whatever it is. Hey, do that. What's up there? Do that. What's up there?
I don't know. But,
you know, that's what it's all about. And again, look, take your victory lap, bro. Take your victory lap for all your accomplishments and this, that, and the third. I mean, you know, you did go to the Lakers, a team that expects success, and you gave them a championship, quote unquote. You gave them a championship. What can I say? But you know, and they know that wasn't enough. And so, at the end of the day, like I said, own the criticisms. That's my thing. My standards are what they are. My standards are what they are. They are that for a reason. They're that for a reason. My standards are what they are. You got to win. If you're still great, win. If you weren't great, if LeBron was hanging on to be on losing teams, and I get it, you're going to say Kobe did that, right? Yeah, Kobe did that. But Kobe also did something that was very important for the Lakers. He helped them get through a rebuilding period. He gave them an attraction while they were going through a rebuilding period. He helped those young players who, unfortunately, were discarded by LeBron while they were going through a rebuilding period. And that's part. But yeah, there are things that, you know, as I said, if he was winning, again, it's a guy that's winning is not everything to him, and that's been my issue. It's got, you know, winning is not everything to him, and he don't have the amount of success relative. I know Will only had 2 championships. He's in your top 5. Yeah, Will had better stats. Will had better stats. Will has dominant championships. Will took down a dynasty. The best dynasty of all times, that y'all like to say that. Bill led that dynasty. LeBron didn't either. He didn't take out any dynasties. He didn't want to go to state. You think the Golden State situation? They didn't have Kevin Durant. And then when they had Kevin Durant, they mollywopped him. 8-1 in two years. I'm just looking at everything prospectively. Because again, narrative is part of narrative. You can't tell me I speak in narrative and then say LeBron drug a bunch of bums to 2 finals. Those are narratives. Be fair. So at the end of the day, and I know my background, my family in the background kind of ruined this video, but just listen to me. You know, because they're speaking Portuguese. The narratives work both ways. Pro and against. The numbers, everything else, work both ways. LeBron is 8th, in my opinion. And I'm sure you have your opinion. I'm sure ESPN and all of these things have made you feel what they made you feel. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube for a reason. To knock down narratives. To knock down narratives, I'm going to speak in narratives. But I'm gonna speak on narratives based on facts, and I'm not going to shit on other eras. That's a narrative. I'm not gonna do all the crazy things that some of these grifters and some of these LeBron sycophants and everything like that do.
Ai, que legal.
I'm gonna speak on the game, and I'm gonna continue to. I'm gonna continue to. Am I perfect? Is everything I say right? Correct me if I'm wrong, if I said anything wrong. Nobody ever does that. Nobody did that on my panel. Nobody did that on my show. And nobody ever will do it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody will ever do it because they will speak in terms of feelings. I don't. Yes. In terms of feelings.
Quando eu começo a pôr as asinhas dele fora, você vai ver. 2 minutos.